Okay, guys, so let's look at some tools and techniques for communication. Sources of information typically used to identify and define project communication requirements include, but are not limited to, organizational charts, project organization and stakeholder responsibility relationships, disciplines, departments, and specialties involved in the project, logistics of how many persons will be involved with the project and at which locations, internal information needs, e.g. when communicating within organizations, external information needs, when communicating with the media, public, or contractors, and stakeholder information and communication requirements from within the stakeholder register. Are you seeing how extensive this issue of communication is? It's not just about, having casual conversations. Everything must evolve around the project itself. The way you're talking, the non-verbals that we've really emphasized on, because those speak volumes. A slight change in the way you communicate non-verbally can just kill a whole project, right? Sources of information typically used to identify and define project communication requirements include, but are not limited to, again, organizational charts. I've talked about this, haven't I? Just give me a second, there's something wrong. All right, communication technology, critical. Communication is a tool, Let's be clear. It's not the project plan itself. This is where we get ourselves confused, where we take Microsoft projects as a software and think that's a project plan. That's just a tool, That's just a tool. Let me emphasize again. Communication is a tool. You see, you can't take your phone and say, because I have a phone, I've communicated. Right? You must use the phone, isn't it? You must type. You must. Sometimes we have this thing about, in Kenya today, people are abusing each other on social media. And they think because I have abused you on social media, it's okay. No, it's not okay. If I abuse you in person, I've done something wrong, isn't it? Why is it different that now because I'm using technology, it's not okay? Yeah? I mean, we have freedom of expression and stuff like that, but wrong is wrong. Whether you've used technology or not, wrong still remains wrong. And right remains the same, correct? So, technology is a tool, and the right tool should be selected for a given communications need. The technology should be tailored to the need. Now, I'm involved in a company, in a startup in Nairobi, that does deliveries using a technology platform. And their main communication tool for their projects is, you want to take a guess? No, the tool that we talked about in the morning, Slack. That's their main communication tool. If you want to get in touch with those guys on email, they'll take 4 or 5 days to respond to you on email. You want to reach them on Slack? Instantaneous. It's a communication technology tool. Wilberforce, tell your colleagues what Slack is. And you can check it out on Slack. Yeah.
So basically, it's SLACK. Yeah, it's a chat project management tool. So instead of using the old uh, way of doing things, you have a chat platform whereby you can add your project in a channel, and using that channel now you can now communicate your needs, and people can interact based on a topic that you posted. Yeah. Yep. No, it's not Kenyan. It's American. Yeah.
Actually, what I love about Slack is the fact that it's 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 got bot functionalities. You know what that means? Bot. You see, you guys, communication. You're not talking to me, but you're busy talking to yourselves. You want to share with us, even here, us here, we want to laugh like you guys. You want to share? No? Okay, guys, let's get back to class. So, what it does is just it can automate almost anything from a communication perspective. It's a brilliant tool, and it's one of the very few companies that are startup that most companies, from Fortune 500 companies to startups, are actually using Slack. Okay? Factors that can affect the choice of communication technology include urgency of the need for information, immediacy of need for information. Now, let's look at the different projects that require urgent, like instantaneous communication. What project would you be involved in where there is customer interaction in real time, and if you're doing a project for improvement that people require instantaneous communication? And to give me an example of some. Use Twitter? Yeah, so if Twitter is doing improvements on Twitter, can they shut down Twitter so that they can do improvements? So how do you think they manage projects of that magnitude? Do you know how many tweets go on a daily basis? Or Facebook for that matter? Do they shut down these social media platforms to improve on projects? What do they do? Who wants to share? What do they do? Who's the hardcore techie here who understands these things? Ian? Any idea? You see? It's the lunch. Yeah? But I like his honesty. It's good. Yes. My English in simple terms. All right, so we have a communication problem here. All right, let's get to the bottom of it. What part of my English do you not understand? First, you must understand that I'm not a native English speaker. Okay, so I probably think in my mother tongue, which is Swahili, and then translate it in real time into English. So you can forgive me for that. All right? So, my English is too technical. Really? You can translate for them. Which country do you come from? Zimbabwe. But Zimbabweans are much better English speakers than Kenyans. Yeah, it's true. I'm a Kenyan, and I can tell you that for free. So if this guy tells me my English is technical, I'll take that as a compliment. Okay, anyway, let's get back to, yes. Okay, so let me repeat myself. Yeah, so social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and wherever, they're always iterating their products. They will not shut down their platforms so that they can improve on them. Do you get now? Okay.
Okay, what I think, or maybe from my own experience, we have a certain situation where we want to upgrade something, but we have a backup system somewhere. That's actually the same system as the one that's running here. So if you want to update this one, we can put our users on this system and upgrade this one and then transfer them back.
So it's mirroring the real-time platform, while at the same time making improvements on it. Are we in agreement? Or am I talking jargon? I'm not? Okay, great. So, social media platforms. So, imagine this is something going on 24/7. All right? And imagine these are human beings, not bots, who are doing this. Huh? All right? And then imagine these guys are doing 12-hour shifts or 8-hour shifts. All right? So, can you imagine that level of real-time communication that is going on? I've just been given, anyway, I'll tell you guys later. So, can you imagine that level of communication? First, between possibly 3 different teams, because we have a 24-hour day, right? So we say 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. All right? Now, team 1 comes in. They must continue with that code. And the ones who are away, they are in different parts of the world. Communication in real time. Now, can you imagine how important the technology communication platform is on this particular project? Right? So what do you think those guys use? For example, Facebook. What do you think they use? Yes, we both.
Okay, what I'll imagine is that since they deal with code, they have what you call versioning of the product. So they have an SVN tool. It could be Bitbucket or GitHub, so that you can have versions of the same product where there is commitment on the final product happening. Yeah.
That is so critical. This word in projects, especially in software, major projects. Okay, what's just happened? Sorry guys, give me a sec. It's called Murphy's Law. My laptop decided to restart itself, I don't know. Anyway, as it does, so version control. Can you imagine you've done 8 hours of work and some guy who's tired from the other day decides to start from where he stopped, not from where his colleague who's just left. Communication. Yeah? And tools to enable people actually be able to do that. Right? Sorry, guys. It's called Murphy's Law. You know what happens?
I need to be managing a sexier project to boost my career. It only has to sound good and not fail until I get a better job.
Something's gone wrong. Give me a few minutes, please.
Depending on what you do, Slack will not be possible to adapt to what you do. Yeah, but I've used it before with another company. Yeah, yeah. Tambo kidogo. It is good. Kopoa, kopoa.
I need to be managing a sexier project to boost my career. It only has to sound good and not fail until I get a better.
Okay, guys, I think we'll do without the presentation. So, where was I? Version control. So, can you imagine that how technology, the communication tools for technology are so critical in the different projects that we do. So, in this particular case where you have projects that are going on with systems that are live, have you ever heard of Facebook having a system shut down for maintenance? How about Twitter? How about LinkedIn? How about Instagram? How do you think they do it? How do you think they do it? So that's one end of the stick. How about projects that involve lives? Humanitarian projects, say in Haiti, where hundreds of thousands of people died, where communication is critical, which basically means that if you don't communicate at a particular time, a life is in danger. On Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or Instagram, it's just that you're going to feel that you are out of the matrix, isn't it? You feel that you're missing out on something. But on the other side, you're talking about lives. All right? So those sort of things are very important to ensure that projects are in line, are achieving what they need to achieve, and in some cases actually save lives. So let's look at Olu's project, for example. What sort of communication tools do you use? And how important are they?
For the team, basically, it's just yeah, we're just killing. So phone calls, SMS. We're just killing. Not like there's a lot of pressure on the back end. Then
So, based on what we've learned since morning today, do you think you could do better? When you go back to Nigeria, what are the sort of communication tools will you be implementing to move forward your projects?
Slack is one of it.
Slack is one of them?
Yeah.
Great. Ian, how about you?
We also use a similar project management system that automates a lot of work that is accessible by every member of the team. But we also value meeting in person and talking about issues. So in this particular presentation, I have just emphasized to myself the importance of meetings as well. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Bob. I think we've achieved something. Anyway, we're about to shut down and for the day. How about Ebo? What would you do better from a communication perspective?
I think I'll steal Ni's idea. I was looking at Slack. That's something I guess I could take into consideration. We've been using WhatsApp and SMS and calls and emails.
So these guys of Slack should pay me, yeah? Should pay me for advertising, all right? Okay, so I think for me, the most critical thing is that my takeout today from you guys is that whilst I know you've been using communication, I know communication is one of your project management tools, but I don't think you had sort of put the level of importance that it required. Are we in agreement? Right? You know, one of the worst things you can do as a leader is walk into a meeting and one of your team members is making a presentation and you make a dismissive statement, like you haven't thought it through or something like that. You know, you can just kill the psyche of that whole team. And sometimes the small little statements we make or the things that we don't communicate, the non-verbals, are the ones that are the most important ingredients to actually make a project work. Okay. I think it's 4:30, so allow me to keep my word and break off here today. Shall we try and start a little earlier tomorrow? We have a lot to cover.
Tomorrow,
Are we in agreement? Instead of 9 o'clock, we do 8:30, just half an hour. Yeah? Yes. Thank you, guys, and have a good evening. All right, thanks.
Oh, good. I hope we are learning. And you know, our trainer here is Muslim, and he's really tried to stand here for the whole day. And as we are eating, and some of us, I think we slept. So he has done a good job. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll come early, and we should be more lively, participate more. Tomorrow will be more participatory. Yeah, we'll talk about social media. We shared the program on email. You know the program? Yeah. So the program is also on the AIS website, internetsummitafrica.org. When you go to the agenda of the AIS, you will see the 5 workshops and the timing. So please come tomorrow and we'll learn more. Thank you. We call it a day. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, I must tell you guys a joke. Yesterday morning, as we were coming in to check in at the reception, I met this very nice young man at the reception, and today morning actually, and he was like, "You Kenyans, I can never get your sorry." Yeah. Together with my colleagues here from Kenya. 2, yeah. So he tells us, I can never figure out your surnames. Surnames. Kenyans, what's wrong with you people? I can never figure out your surnames. I can figure out everybody else's surnames in Africa, Nigeria, South Africans, but Kenyans, I can never figure that out. Why? I just told him, I guess I could say the same thing with you. I can never figure out your surname. Those cultural issues, yeah? How we communicate. I mean, this guy is supposed to make me feel welcome in Botswana. And the first thing he tells me, he can't figure out my surname. Thanks, guys.